Cleopatra has captivated the world for centuries, not just as a queen, but as a symbol of power, beauty, and cunning intelligence. Among her many treasures, one artifact stands out: the sacred crocodile belt. Unlike ordinary adornments, this belt carried divine symbolism. Crocodiles were revered in ancient Egypt, representing Sobek, the god of strength, fertility, and protection. For Cleopatra, wearing a belt crafted from crocodile skin was more than a fashion statement. It was a declaration of authority over both her subjects and the natural world. Ancient texts and historical accounts hint at the belt's existence, describing its intricate craftsmanship and ceremonial importance. While the details are scarce, the legend alone has fascinated historians and artisans alike. Some believe that the belt could only be worn during sacred rituals, granting the wearer a connection to the gods themselves. Its design was said to blend both practicality and symbolism, each scale carefully selected, each clasp imbued with meaning. In essence, the crocodile belt was a miniature emblem of Egypt's power, ingenuity, and mystique. Today, even fragments or representations of such belts continue to inspire, reminding us that Cleopatra's legacy was defined as much by the objects she possessed as by the empire she ruled. To understand the significance of Cleopatra's belt, we must first explore the role of crocodiles in ancient Egyptian culture. Far from being mere predators, crocodiles were deeply entwined with religious symbolism and daily life. Sobek, the crocodile god, embodied strength, protection, and fertility. Temples dedicated to Sobek often housed live crocodiles, cared for by priests who performed rituals to honor and appease them. Crocodiles were feared, yet respected, a duality that mirrored the delicate balance Cleopatra sought to maintain between power and perception. Using crocodile skin for a royal belt was not simply an aesthetic choice. It was a symbolic act that linked the wearer to divine authority. Artisans believed that incorporating sacred animal elements could imbue objects with protective qualities, ensuring the wearer's safety and influence. The Egyptian fascination with crocodiles extended to art, architecture, and jewelry, with detailed carvings and motifs appearing across temples and royal tombs. Cleopatra's choice to don a crocodile belt, therefore, was a deliberate embrace of this potent symbolism. It projected an image of a queen who commanded respect not just from her people, but from the spiritual forces that governed the natural world. The creation of Cleopatra's sacred belt was entrusted to a select group of artisans, whose skills were highly guarded secrets. These craftsmen were more than leatherworkers or metalworkers. They were keepers of knowledge, combining technical mastery with spiritual understanding. Apprenticeships often lasted decades, and the methods were passed orally to prevent them from falling into unworthy hands. The process began with selecting the perfect crocodile, an animal large and strong enough to symbolize the queen's power. Rituals were performed to honor the creature and ensure that the skin retained sacred energy during preparation. Tanning and treating the hide required extraordinary skill. Artisans had to soften and preserve it without compromising the scales, natural alignment, creating a flexible yet durable material. The belt was then shaped, sewn, and embellished, often incorporating gold, gems, or symbolic patterns. Each stitch, clasp, and engraving was intentional, reflecting both aesthetic taste and spiritual significance. The secrecy surrounding these methods made the belt more than a fashion accessory. It was a relic of forbidden knowledge. By controlling who could create it, the court ensured that such power remained concentrated in the hands of the queen, reinforcing Cleopatra's unmatched authority. Crafting Cleopatra's belt was as much a spiritual endeavor as a physical one. Before even touching the crocodile skin, artisans performed purification rituals, invoking blessings from Sobek and other deities. The crocodile itself might have been ritually honored or sacrificed, depending on the intended symbolism. Preparing the hide was a delicate, labor-intensive process. The skin had to be cleaned, cured, and softened without damaging its natural patterns. Any error could render it unsuitable for the queen, so every step required precision and care. Ancient texts suggest that secret oils, herbs, and natural substances were applied to preserve flexibility and imbue the material with protective properties. The artisans also incorporated charms or tiny engravings during the preparation stage, believed to enhance the wearer as a divine favor. This ritualistic attention to detail ensured that the finished belt was not merely decorative but a conduit of sacred power. By the time it reached Cleopatra, The belt had undergone a transformation from raw hide to a potent symbol of strength, fertility, and divine protection, bridging the mortal and spiritual worlds in a single artifact. Every element of Cleopatra's crocodile belt was laden with meaning. The arrangement of scales, the patterns etched into the leather, and the decorative clasps all conveyed messages about power, authority, and divine favor. Gold inlays or gemstones emphasized wealth and status, while motifs drawn from nature and mythology connected the queen to the gods. The belt may have also included hieroglyphs or sacred symbols, transforming it into a wearable narrative of Cleopatra's reign. Scholars suggest that the design served multiple purposes: aesthetic, beauty, practical reinforcement, and ritualistic symbolism. Crocodile scales, carefully aligned, represented both protection and resilience, qualities the queen wished to project to allies and enemies alike. Even the way the belt was worn conveyed authority, signaling Cleopatra's control over both her court and the spiritual realm. This fusion of artistry and symbolism reflects the broader Egyptian worldview, where objects were rarely mere tools. They were vessels of meaning, power, and connection to the divine. The belt, therefore, stood as a testament not just to Cleopatra's taste, but to the sophistication and spiritual depth of her civilization. Cleopatra's crocodile belt was more than a personal adornment. It was a political statement. Be wary, knight. She asserted dominance over her court, foreign emissaries, and even the gods themselves. In a time when symbolism was a crucial part of governance, every piece of jewelry conveyed messages about wealth, power, and legitimacy. The crocodile, a feared and revered creature, became a metaphor for her political prowess, formidable, strategic, and untouchable. The belt may have been worn during critical diplomatic encounters, ceremonial events, or public appearances to reinforce her authority. By controlling the narrative around such a sacred item, Cleopatra demonstrated that power was not just physical or military, it was psychological and symbolic. In this way, the belt served as both armor and emblem, protecting her reputation while projecting an aura of invincibility. Through this intricate blend of artistry, spirituality, and politics, Cleopatra ensured that even a single accessory could influence perception, inspire awe, and maintain her position as one of history's most cunning and powerful rulers. Though the original crocodile belt has not survived the passage of millennia, its legend endures. Fragments, depictions, and artwork, and written records provide tantalizing glimpses into its construction and significance. Modern artisans and historians study these accounts to understand ancient Egyptian techniques, yet much remains a mystery. The belt exemplifies a civilization where craftsmanship was inseparable from ritual, spirituality, and status. Cleopatra's choice to wear such an object demonstrates her awareness of the power of symbols and her ability to use them to shape her image. The crocodile belt has since become a metaphor for the lost knowledge and ingenuity of the ancient world, a reminder that some treasures are valuable not just for their material worth, but for the secrets they carry. It inspires artists, filmmakers, and historians alike, bridging the past and present through fascination with Cleopatra's life and the civilization she ruled. The techniques used to craft Cleopatra's belt remain largely unknown, shrouded in secrecy and legend. Modern historians attempt to reconstruct the process, combining insights from ancient texts, surviving leatherworking methods, and symbolic analyses. Experimental artisans replicate aspects of the belt, but the spiritual and ceremonial elements are nearly impossible to recreate authentically. This forbidden method symbolizes the intersection of craft, religion, and politics in ancient Egypt, a complex knowledge system guarded from the uninitiated. Today, the story of Cleopatra's belt reminds us that objects can carry meaning far beyond their physical form, embodying history, symbolism, and power. While we may never fully recover the exact techniques, the fascination persists, allowing us to glimpse the sophistication, devotion, and ingenuity of a civilization that continues to captivate the world. Cleopatra's crocodile belt, in legend and reconstruction, remains an enduring testament to a queen's vision, a culture's artistry, and the secrets that time has preserved. Cleopatra's crocodile belt is more than an artifact. It is a window into a world where power, artistry, and spirituality were inseparable. Through its sacred materials, secret crafting methods, and symbolic design, the belt reflects the ingenuity, and devotion of a civilization that shaped history. Though the original may be lost to time, its story endures, reminding us that some treasures are measured not in gold or jewels, but in the knowledge, mystery, and influence they carry. Cleopatra's legacy lives on not only in the records of her reign, but in the enduring fascination with the objects that defined her power. The sacred belt, once worn by a queen, continues to inspire awe, offering a glimpse into the forbidden methods, divine symbolism, and timeless allure of ancient Egypt. In the end, it is a testament to human creativity, ambition, and the unending desire to leave a mark on history proof. And that some secrets, though hidden for centuries, can still captivate the imagination and echo through time.